Hello and welcome. Welcome to the special edition of Learn with Tin. How are you? I hope that you are doing well. I hope you still have enough food to eat. I hope that you are communicating well with your leaders, the local government sectors. I really hope that you are well, you are fine, and most importantly, you are staying indoors. Okay, so today we are going to talk about something about ESL. By the way, for those who don't know me, my name is Tin, and I am an ESL teacher. I've been teaching for around 10 years now. Believe it or not, it's been 10 years since I have started. Oh my God. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, first of all, most of you would probably um ask, what are the teaching requirements? What is ESL? What are the things that I need to do? What are the pros and the cons? So these are the things that we are going to cover here. What is ESL? ESL stands for English as a Second Language. Okay, so if you have a native language, if you come from a country which English is not the native language, then English will be your second language. English as a Second Language, ESL. Okay, the first thing that is required before you become an ESL teacher, of course, you need to have the skills and the knowledge. The skills and the knowledge of the language. Of course, this is the English language. Okay, we are talking about English here. So I didn't write the English language. I hope that is clear. Invest in yourself. The main requirement, of course, before you can teach, you should know the language. You have to have enough knowledge and enough skills. Okay, knowledge. Let's talk about knowledge first. You need to have enough knowledge about the English language. What is the English language? Do you know how to speak this language? Are you fluent in speaking this language? Skills to teach this language. It's not enough that you only have the knowledge of this language. It's not enough that you can speak this language because so many people can speak this language. However, they struggle if someone asks them to teach them this language. Okay, let me say that again. Many people can speak the language, but only if you can teach this language. So you need to have the skills. Of course, before you apply to companies, you should at least have a background or at least have a training on how to teach, okay, the language. At least you have an idea how to explain what you already know. Explain your knowledge. Yeah. Okay, so we know, for example, we know from this sentence, he runs fast. We know what it means. Yeah. But can we explain why we use runs instead of run in this sentence? Can you explain that? So that is one thing that you have to learn how to do before you apply because it's the number one requirement, the skills and the knowledge. Adaptation is very important. The more you learn, the more you adapt, the more you experience, the more you adapt, the more you grow. I will not elaborate on that. Let's talk about courage and personality. Second of all, you have to have courage. You are going to talk to different people from different walks of life. You may have an experience of teaching a doctor, of teaching an engineer, a college student, a very young child, elementary school student, high school student. So you need to have enough courage to talk to these people. If you have inferiority complex, you have to think twice before you apply to this job, because if you want to teach, you need to have confidence. Okay. And personality. Okay. Um, it is an engaging activity. Teaching should be engaging. Um, if you don't have the personality that would attract the student in your class, then you're going to fail as an ESL teacher. You need to have the personality. You should act if you need to, put on a little acting, be a little more cheerful, be a little more inspirational, motivational. You need to have a personality. You cannot act like a robot in the class. It's very important nowadays that there is a growing market. The demographic in that market is children aged between 4 to 12 years old, 4 to 16 years old. So personality is essential to get their attention, for the class to be more engaging. Okay, of course, this is very basic. For the third requirement, you should have the right tools. Okay, so because you're going to be working from home, you need to have a laptop computer or a desktop computer. I have written down here the specs that most companies nowadays require. You can pause this video and read, check your computer if your computer has these specs, all right, or specifications. Another tool that is very important is headset, but not just a headset, but it has to be a headset with noise cancellation feature, because you need to have a perfect noise-free environment to be able to conduct the lesson. Most students are easily distracted by the sound of your environment. If they hear noise, if they hear dogs barking, if they hear your neighbors shouting, okay, they are going to complain. Okay, and it's not a very good learning environment. Um, it's going to cause a big distraction in class. So, two of the most popular headsets are Plantronics and Jabra. So both of these headsets have noise cancellation feature that are really good. I have tried Plantronics. I have used Plantronics for, I think, 5 years before I replaced it. I haven't tried Jabra though, but I have seen a lot of good reviews about it. Okay, number four, patience and perseverance. Okay, if you are starting in this industry, you may not get a lot of students at first. You have to expect that it will take time before you grow your market, because you are just introducing yourself. When you start, it doesn't mean that you will get a lot of students, but you know, they have to know if you are the perfect teacher for them. So it's going to take a while. You have to persevere. Working from home is not as easy as everyone thought it is, because, first of all, you need to be ready. You need to be ready when you decide to quit your job and started working from home. You need to be ready because you don't know how long before your market grow but or grows. But don't worry, if you keep your perseverance, if you stay patient, you may grow it in a span of a month, Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Let's talk about the pros and the cons of this industry. Okay, this industry allows you to work from home. That is the biggest advantage of this job. You can wear comfortable clothes, you can work anywhere, anytime. It's very flexible. You can choose the time of when you want to work and when you don't want to work. You can work anywhere because you just need an internet connection and you can do it anywhere there is an internet connection. The cons, of course, your salary is not fixed. So you are going to earn what you have worked for. Okay. So if you don't work, you're not going to get any payment. All right. So it's not fixed. It's different monthly, or every cutoff. Your social life is probably or will probably be in jeopardy because you are going to stay mostly at home. Health issues because you're going to be in front of the computer for many hours. That means radiation. It's going to cause poor eyesight. I have a very poor eyesight right now, but not because of working too much in front of the computer, just bad habits. Okay. So, do you need TESOL certification, IELTS, and TOEFL certification diploma? It depends. It depends on the company that you're going to apply for. Some companies hire undergraduates, some companies hire graduates. It depends. Here, at least college undergraduate, high school graduate. See? So the qualifications are different. What's great about this industry now, unlike before, is that this time, I'm really surprised actually because undergraduates can now apply, even high school graduate can apply as long as you have the experience. A lot of companies offer trainings. 51 Talk offers so many trainings. If you want to know a lot, you can apply to that company. I don't work for that company. This is not a paid promotion of that company. The company pays a little bit low, but if you want to learn so many things, you can apply to that company. So the qualification, the certification, not necessarily required, but if you are already an experienced teacher and if you apply to a bigger company with a higher qualification, you would probably need to get those certifications. Okay, but what I'm saying is that there are a lot of companies um, that don't require them. Okay, as long as you have the skills and the knowledge, they can train you or they can tell you something before you start. They can advise you to do something before you start doing this job. Okay. Um, I was speaking too fast because I would like to cover everything within 15 minutes, yeah, or less than 15 minutes because my recording will stop after that. So thank you so much. I hope you learned something. I'm going to put subtitle. If you are watching it without a subtitle, don't worry. I'm going to add a subtitle. So thank you again, and stay safe. Stay indoors. See you next time. Bye, everybody.